Live from WRAL News Headquarters in Raleigh, your number one source for local news. WRAL News, coverage you can count on.
Look, there's green on the radar. Nice to see some rain, but later this afternoon, we could have some severe storms in our southeastern counties. I'll show you what time to expect those.
And we're following several breaking news stories this morning. A police investigation in Durham after reports of a stabbing. Also a large house fire in Wake County.
The adoptive mother accused of murder in the deaths of two siblings is due in court today. Police say she abused the children, starved them, and then hid their deaths.
And President Biden and former President Donald Trump are preparing for the meeting on the debate stage tonight. How they're getting ready and the Bidens' plans to travel directly to the Triangle afterward. That all gets started at 9 o'clock tonight. We'll have all of that information for you coming up. Thanks for joining us. I'm Michelle McConaughey in for an HU.
And I'm Jeff Hogan. A super busy Thursday on the way for you. We'll get you prepared. Elizabeth talked about some of that rain in the air.
Oh,
Elizabeth, it might just feel like putting some rocks, some water on the rocks in a sauna or something. It's awful out there.
I don't think it could get any steamier than it really is, but yep, I think that would do it for sure. Nice to see some of that rain. We need it, but none of what's happening right now is going to be enough to reverse all the dry conditions that we have out there. So a few showers popped up here in Wake County. Those are starting to fizzle. A little bit of rain over here in Clayton, Lucama, Wilson, Elm City. More of this will likely pop up this morning, but this afternoon is when we're concerned about some severe storms, especially south and east of the Triangle. Damaging winds, heavy rain and hail, and that's likely to start right after lunchtime. That's when we'll have the best chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms. We also have day 2 of a heat advisory from the Triangle area south and east. It'll feel like 102 to 108. That advisory begins at 11. It'll feel like 100 by 1 o'clock, and then 103 to 104 in the Triangle this afternoon. Here's a live look at Franklinton, and you can see it's wet here on the street, so a little shower will do there, but a few breaks in the clouds this morning, looking pretty, but feeling like 79. Our dew point's at 69, so a little bit lower than it was yesterday, but still pretty steamy out there for us. We'll see highs in the mid-90s, but of course we'll still have a high heat index. Coming up, we're going to talk more about how high the heat index will be into the weekend. We may see more heat advisories, Ken.
All right, Elizabeth, at 6:01, you mentioned those pop-up showers, and take a look at these road conditions. Some of our viewers this morning waking up to some wet roads. You see parts of the Triangle and surrounding communities there. So if you are waking up to some wet roads, do be careful out there as you're getting ready to head out. Let's take a live look now at our sensors this morning. Nothing really but green showing up on our map this morning. All the major routes. 40, the Beltline over in Raleigh and Durham and Chapel Hill, 85. All those major routes are delay-free at this hour.
I'm Eric Miller in the WRAL Live Center. This morning, we're continuing to follow an investigation playing out in a Durham neighborhood. This is all happening just east of downtown here, the intersection of North Alston Avenue and Holloway Street. You can see that area very residential, but there's also a gas station as well as a convenience store in that neighborhood as well. I want to send you live out to some video. The WRAL breaking news tracker captured earlier of this scene. You can see police tape as well as multiple officers surrounding this scene there. We're still working to learn what exactly led police to head to that location, but we know they've been there for more than 2 hours this morning. We'll bring you more details as we get them in this investigation.
Thanks, Eric. We are working to learn more about a house fire in Wake County. The WRAL breaking news tracker was on Dolphin Turn Street in Willow Spring just after 11 o'clock last night. You can see several firefighters and EMS working as smoke could be seen coming from that home. We are working to find out the cause and if anyone was hurt.
The adoptive mother facing murder charges in the deaths of two siblings is due in court today. Blake and London Devon were missing for years, and now police say they were starved and abused until they died. WRAL's Kelsey Coffey is at the Cumberland County Courthouse. Avante Devon, Kelsey, is facing some shocking, heartbreaking allegations, really.
Jeff, she is, and we're expecting to see Avante Devon here in court for the first time in just a few hours. This comes as police released new details about Blake and London yesterday. They say the two children were likely abused and starved to death. Now, Devon is facing multiple charges this morning, including first-degree murder, felony child abuse, and concealment of death. She's accused of forcing someone else to burn and dismember their bodies. Police say Devon kept Blake, London, and her other adopted kids in small rooms, sometimes in complete darkness with little or no food. WRAL spoke with Brianna Morrow, once known as Cherish Devon, who lived with them as a child.
It was very horrible. There were days where we didn't go with showers. We didn't go with baths. The only time we could turn on the bathtub or the sink was to get water.
And Devon's first court appearance is scheduled for this afternoon at 2:30. Kelsey Coffey, WRAL News, live in Fayetteville.
Police in Raleigh are trying to find the person who shot a man last night. Investigators were on this scene, a Morgan's Mill court, for more than 3 hours until after 1 o'clock this morning. It's right near Rush Street and Hammond Road. Video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows evidence markers in the street as officers investigated. The man who was shot was taken to the hospital. He is expected to recover.
President Joe Biden will be in Raleigh in less than 24 hours. He and First Lady Jill Biden plan to fly to RDU immediately after tonight's debate in Atlanta. The president's itinerary shows that he is expected to arrive at RDU just before 2 o'clock tomorrow morning. This will put the Bidens in place for a campaign event midday tomorrow in Raleigh. Former President Donald Trump will also be on the campaign trail tomorrow. He'll appear at a rally near Norfolk, Virginia.
Michelle, tonight's debate is the first time a current president and former president will debate each other. It's a key moment for both campaigns as they try to set expectations ahead of November's election. President Biden has been at Camp David, huddling with advisors and holding mock debates. Former President Donald Trump has been at Mar-a-Lago doing more informal prep. He's expected to focus on the economy and the border during the 90-minute debate. Biden will likely zero in on abortion rights and threats to democracy. CNN is hosting the debate. It's happening at their studios in Atlanta, and you can watch it all right here live on WRAL starting at 9 o'clock tonight.
The state Senate will vote today on 3 veto overrides. They're expected to pass on party lines. One bill would ban the wearing of cloth masks in public places, though surgical or medical masks would still be allowed. Another rolls back some recent reforms in the juvenile justice system. And the third allows owners of billboards along highways to cut down more trees in front of them. The House overrode all 3 vetoes last night. When the Senate follows suit, those bills will become law over the governor's objections.
The state Senate passed a bill that puts into law a broad definition of anti-Semitism. It adopts the International Holocaust Remembrance Alliance's definition of anti-Semitism. Some critics worry about the implications for free speech, particularly being critical of the state of Israel. The bill easily cleared the House earlier in the legislative session. You can get more information on that bill by visiting the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com.
Part of Maxwell Road in Sampson County is back open after several hogs fell out of a truck. Troopers say an 18-wheeler carrying live hogs lost its door along US 421. Video from the WRAL Breaking News Tracker shows troopers working to clean up the bodies of those hogs that died. The remaining pigs were transferred to another truck.
Today's a big day for the future of PNC Arena and the Carolina Hurricanes. The Centennial Authority, that's the group that owns the arena, it's expected to give final approval today to 20-year lease extension with the Canes. That deal also includes an agreement to develop up to 80 acres of land around the arena. The development could include apartments, a hotel, restaurants, retail and office space, a sports book, and a music venue. The board's special meeting is at 10 o'clock this morning.
Robert F. Kennedy Jr. and other presidential candidates will have to wait longer to find out if they'll be on the ballot in North Carolina. The state elections board voted last night to deny initial bids from the parties that are sponsoring Kennedy, Cornel West, and Randall Terry. The parties collected more than 13,000 signatures apiece from North Carolina voters, but officials say they've gotten allegations of flaws in each petition. The board says it'll make a final decision at a later date. Read what board members had to say at the NC Capitol section of WRAL.com.
And with the 16th pick in the 2024 NBA Draft, the Philadelphia 76ers select Jared McCain from Duke University.
So there was Duke's Jared McCain on his way to the NBA. The Philadelphia 76ers chose him right where he was expected, middle of the first round, 16th pick in the first round of the draft last night. Kyle Filipowski was expected to go late in the first round as well. He was not chosen. So Filipowski and UNC's Harrison Ingram are now expected to be drafted in tonight's second round. And NC State's DJs, the DJ Burns and DJ Horn, they are not expected to be chosen, so free agents could be in their mix. Coming up in 15 minutes, we'll have a look at some of the other picks, including who the Hornets chose.
An upcoming Supreme Court decision about an abortion case may have accidentally been released early. What a revealed document shows about where the justices stand.
New data shows more people are being bitten by snakes in North Carolina this year. Why experts say more venomous snakes are coming into contact with people.
And we have two advisories in effect for our southern counties. It's a heat advisory in effect again and a level 1 risk for severe storms. I'll walk you through what you can expect to see today where you are coming up.
As you get into your car, tune to WRAL News Plus on your radio. In Raleigh on 99.3 FM. In Durham, 96.5 FM. And everywhere on 101.5 HD3.
612, nice to see some green on this dual Doppler 5000 radar. All is quiet, just a few isolated showers for us this morning, but this afternoon it could turn a little more dangerous with the potential for some damaging winds. We have some showers that are back to our west right now, just north of the Triad. That's going to swing through here by around 10 or 11, but in the meantime, just a few isolated showers. One east of Wendell, coming through Wilson, Elm City, a little light rain there, but later this afternoon we have a level 1 risk for severe storms in our eastern counties, damaging winds, heavy rain, hail, all a possibility with that. Our rain chances this morning about 20% and then 50% later on this afternoon, especially in our southern counties. Day 2 of a heat advisory from the Triangle area south and east kicks in at 11 o'clock. Could feel like as high as 108 this afternoon, Ken.
Elizabeth, happening now in the WRAL Traffic Center, we are seeing some of those wet road conditions that you just mentioned about those pop-up showers. Our neighbors to the east and south of Raleigh, as well as parts of Durham this morning. So do be careful if you're heading out this morning. Checking on live traffic sensors, we got reports of Raleigh police working a crash on I-40 westbound. It's near the Garner Road, Garner exit at exit 309, but it's off to the shoulder of the road, not really causing any problems for your morning commute, just in case you head that way. Elsewhere around the Triangle, all the major routes are delay-free at this hour.
I'm Eric Miller in the WRAL Live Center. Just in the last few minutes, Goldsboro police are confirming they're investigating after a woman was shot and killed overnight. This all happened right here, the 300 block of Hollowell Avenue. As we zoom in, you can see there's an apartment complex in that area, various homes in that neighborhood as well. Goldsboro police tell us this started as a shot spotter call just after 2:30 this morning. When police got out there, they found that woman, now identified as Adriana Lewis, a 34-year-old, shot and killed. So far, no word on what might have led up to that shooting or any suspects in this case. We'll, of course, stay on top of it. We've also got Nick Perlin in the WRAL Breaking News Tracker headed to that scene. We'll bring you a live look as soon as we can.
A Durham woman is recovering after being hit by a car while she was in a motorized wheelchair. You may find this video disturbing to see. Only on WRAL, this video shows the moment that driver hits that woman, and then the driver left the scene. This happened at the intersection of Denfield and Todd Streets in North Durham. Police have now arrested the man in connection with the case.
The Supreme Court accidentally posted what appears to be a draft of its Idaho abortion decision. The document was quickly removed from their website yesterday. Bloomberg Law obtained a copy of that document, and they report the decision would allow emergency abortions in Idaho. As for when the court could officially release the decision, they said the rulings will be issued in due course.
Bolivia's government now has new military leaders after a failed attempt at a coup. Armed vehicles rammed into the doors of Bolivia's government palace Wednesday. Bolivian officials say military and tanks were taking over the whole plaza there. The country's president fired his top general and swore in new military leaders. Bolivia has seen intensifying protests over its economy's decline.
Redness, swelling, and bruising. It's all the aftermath of a snake bite. New numbers from North Carolina Poison Control show more people are being bitten by snakes across the state than ever before. 257 venomous snake bites have been reported so far this year. That surpasses the previous record set in 2020. The copperhead is the most abundant of the 6 venomous species found in North Carolina. Experts say the weather conditions we've been facing recently are bringing more snakes out and into places that put them into closer contact with people.
What we're seeing primarily in the snake bites, snakes are going to where their food and where their water sources are. And here, with the amount of rainfall that we've had, or lack thereof here within the last several months, they are now moving to places where they can find food and water.
This month, 15 people received treatments for snake bites at Duke Hospital. 9 were treated at Wake Med. 6 of them needed anti-venom. Experts say there is no need to be afraid, just be cautious.
The birth of a white bison calf at Yellowstone National Park is leading to celebrations and warnings. Indigenous tribes from across the West gathered yesterday on the edge of the park. The white bison is sacred to them. It represents strength and abundance. It's also thought to fulfill an ancient Lakota prophecy. It means the earth is sick, and they feel it is their responsibility to take care of it. The calf hasn't been seen since it was photographed June 4th, the day it was born.
It's fire season in California. A crew spent the day battling this vegetation fire near San Francisco yesterday. Crews battled the fire in Empire from the ground and air. Officials say it burned about 100 acres. Crews also worked to battle additional fires in 2 nearby counties.
More flooding is swamping Minnesota after an additional round of torrential rain there. This is video from the town of Waterville, appropriately named there, where floodwaters are filling homes and streets. Officials there are calling on the National Guard for help. People in Mankato are in need of remaining alert as a dam on the Blue Earth River is still at risk of completely failing there. It's given way a lot of the way. Mass evacuations have not happened yet. The river swelled after an onslaught of rain that pummeled that region for days. They have been dealing with that over and over, and we just can't seem to get a drop. Elizabeth Gardner in the WRAL Severe Weather Center. That could change. We could get a couple drops.
Yeah, it's actually all related. We had a huge area of high pressure sitting over us. It was holding all of that rain stationary across parts of the Midwest. That pattern is starting to break down a little bit. So we're not looking at any flooding rain, but we will have some showers and thunderstorms over the next few days. We take a look here. We're going to zoom in on dual Doppler 5000 radar. We had a few showers around the Triangle area. Most of those are starting to fizzle. A little bit of rain just passed over Wilson, headed up toward Edgecombe County. Later this afternoon, we'll have the potential for some wind damage in our eastern counties. Damaging winds, heavy rain, hail with that level 1 risk for severe storms. That's likely right around or after lunchtime. You can see here's some showers that start to pop up around lunchtime, but during the afternoon, as we get into the daytime heating, and there'll be plenty of that, we may have enough energy for some of those storms to be strong to severe. Right around 5 or 6 o'clock, those move on out, but the front stalls to our south, and with that front stall to our south, we are likely to end up with the potential for some rain again on Saturday and Sunday. We take a look at our heat advisory for today. Heat index feeling like 102 to 108 this afternoon. It was a very hot day yesterday. I'll show you what we hit yesterday coming up, but this afternoon it'll feel like anywhere from 102 to 104 in the Triangle, and then again maybe a little higher than that in some of our southern counties. We take a look at our tropical satellite. Things are getting fairly active in the tropics. There's a system here. It sort of catches your eye with those black colors on those clouds. That could develop into a system that makes landfall on the east coast of Mexico. This one now has a 70% chance of developing. This is possibly our next named storm. It could get the name WRAL as it continues to move across the Leeward Islands and here into the Caribbean as we get through the next week or so. We take a look at that on Futurecast. We can follow its path again over the Leeward Islands and then up here toward the Yucatan Peninsula. So that one definitely bears watching as it looks like it's going to hold together fairly well. And then another one here in the Gulf of Mexico, a 20% chance of that one developing. The model plots take it pretty much along the same path that Tropical Storm Alberto took a week or so ago. Temperatures will be in the mid-90s from now through Sunday. What you can't see is just how high the heat index will be. It could be back into the danger zone again Saturday and Sunday. I'll show you what it will feel like coming up, Ken.
Elizabeth, at 6:20, you mentioned those pop-up showers, and we are seeing some wet road conditions this morning to the neighbors to the south and east of the Triangle this morning, so just be aware of that as you're heading out. Take a look at this live census now giving you real-time traffic data this morning, and nothing but green really showing up on the map. We did get reports of a crash shutting down the shoulder of I-40 West near exit 309. That's the exit to Garner, and since it's on the shoulder of the road, it's not going to affect your morning commute whatsoever. But elsewhere around the Triangle and surrounding communities, all the major routes are delay-free.
All right, thanks, Ken. A new development in the Bahamas where a woman disappeared after a yoga retreat. The discovery authorities made as her family pleads for her safe return.
And you may be asked to weigh in on some changes to our state's constitution, what lawmakers want to change when it comes to things like voting and other important issues.
This What's Trending report, sponsored by Rug & Home.
Fans of The Bear will be saying yes, chef, as they binge the new season.
Ken Smith's here now with what's trending, Ken.
Jeff and Michelle. Hulu releasing all 10 new episodes of the show at 9 last night. That was actually 3 hours ahead of when it was originally scheduled. Of course, that gave fans a chance to get a head start on watching what happens in season 3.
Oh, so many people love this show. One really cool thing about the show, they actually feature celebrity real chefs in the show. So I think that's really cool. I mean, they can appreciate it because they know how to cook. And I don't know, I hear good things about that show.
Yeah. Big fan.
Yeah.
Well, hey, the actors who played the lead roles in the movie Forrest Gump are together like peas and carrots again. Tom Hanks and Robin Wright star in the new movie Hair. The movie comes out in November.
They did some pretty cool things digitally. If you look at this trailer here, they make them young, they make them old, and yeah, it all comes together. It's pretty cool.
Wow.
Very cool.
I enjoyed it. Ken, thanks. The Atlanta Hawks had the first pick in last night's NBA draft, and they chose Zachary Risacher from France. This is the second year in a row the first pick has been from France. Charlotte Hornets also looked to France with their number 6 pick overall, their first choice. They chose 18-year-old forward Tiziane Salon.
And the U.S. Olympic gymnastics trials get started tonight in Minneapolis. The men's trials begin tonight. The women's trials will start tomorrow. Our coverage begins tonight at 8 here on WRAL.
President Biden and former President Trump will meet on the stage tonight for the first time since 2020. The big issues each is expected to focus on during their first 2024 debate.
And a little bit of patchy rain this morning on the radar, but there's more to come. You can see it back to the west. I'll show you who has the chance of severe weather later today.
And the adoptive mother accused in the deaths of 2 siblings is due in a courtroom today. Shocking details in the case after a months-long investigation by Fayetteville police.